Hey, what's up? Mike Orsica. I wanted to chat with you about PPD and PDD because it seems like a lot of people are really struggling with figuring out how to study for these two exams. And before I start talking about how to study for it, let's just talk real quick about what PPD is and what PDD is. So PPD was Project Planning and Design, and PDD is Project Development and Documentation, I think. Don't quote me on that. I probably screwed that up. But really what it is, those two exams, I call them the design exams. What do you need to know about structures, MEP, sustainability, life safety codes, materials and methods, constructability, design during the schematic design phase of the project, which is PPD. And then what do you need to know about all those same topics during the construction documents phase of the project, which is PDD. I always say that the PPD is the 10,000 foot view of what the design is while you're putting together your documents. And then the PDD is the 500 to 50 foot view. Now we start to zoom in and the scale gets bigger and we start to see the details of what really makes up putting together a set of documents at that point in the project. And so what had happened with the old exam is they took the structures test, the engineering exam, the code test, and the materials and methods and constructability exam, and they consolidated those four exams into what do you need to know during schematic design, and then what do you need to know during construction documents phase. So a lot of people are really struggling with what they've done is consolidating four exams into two exams, and how do we deal with that? And the study materials don't really, how do you study the schematic design phase of structures? I feel like to understand structures, you got to look at everything holistically and kind of see the bigger picture and how these different parts tie together. And so the best advice I've seen out there and what I see a lot of people doing, and you're going to hate me for saying this, but it's really treating those two exams as if they were four exams and using all the old ARE 4.0 study materials and in some ways just attacking them one after another. Because what I like about the 4.0 study materials rather than the 5.0 is that the 4.0 has space it really gets into the details a lot more, whereas there's so much scope and there's so much information that got crammed into those two exams. In my opinion, I think the publishers in some ways have struggled to figure out how much is too much information, and at the end of the day, it's been really watered down. So I would say I would study for 4 ARE 4.0 exams and then take the test for the two ARE 5.0s, the PPD and the PDD. So that's what I recommend. It's not the most popular advice out there, but it seems to be working. And what I see a lot of people doing is studying probably more than they ever have for any of those two exams, kind of seeing the bigger picture and either taking the PPD first and then letting a month or two go by studying for PDD and then taking that test, or people just studying really hard and taking two of them at the same time because there's so much overlap and you can't study for one without studying for the other. So those are my thoughts on the PPD, PDD. I hope this was helpful. I hope I didn't make it more confusing. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.